of Rajasthan in 1998 and ME in the Power Electronics and Drives degree from the University of Roorkee in the year 2000. Then he joined NIT Kurukshetra as assistant professor and he has completed his PhD from there only, and then he has moved to DTU. He is having the many publications, more than 100 in the reputed journal and conferences, and I would like to say thank to Professor Dheeraj Joshi that he is my first teacher to inspire me for the research work and motivated me to work with Dr. Pramod Agarwal and moved to IIT Roorkee. And Dr. Joshi is the gold medalist of last batch of University of Roorkee in the power apparatus and electric drives branch. He has authored one of the recent book by the CRC press, that power electronic drives and advanced application, that is published in the year 2020. Sir, I welcome you on behalf of the Electrical Engineering Department, NIT Patna and Atal Academy of AICTE. Sir, we are very thankful to you, so you are here. Now, I request you to start the session.
Okay, so thank you very much, Dr. Ambrish. I think I am audible to all.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Right?
Yes.
And India and doing work in power electronics and the applications fields. And before starting my lecture, I want to congratulate Dr. Ambrish. Nice, such a wonderful co where eminent speakers are there, and was just completed his lecture, and he my lecture. Now I feel if voice is breaking, I check that internet is working properly. Speed sometimes create problem. Now to start my lecture from very important topic. And you can say hot topic, analysis of one type of converter and some experimental results for on a simple prototype. So it's a, I think, bad network quality. So let I change it. Let I change it and then check whether it is working or not. My screen is visible. Is it visible? Okay, it is only due to the internet. Let I use my personal hotspot and then kindly pardon me due to the network problem. Now my voice is clear to all of you. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Because point is that if internet is not properly working and connectivity is due to only this internet, now is it visible? Because I have to see your window also. My PPT is visible to all of you?
Yes, sir, it's visible now.
Okay, thank you very much. So now I want to tell you about this very hot topic, that is the DC to DC converters, basically multi-port converters for electric vehicle applications. So what are the factors due to which we are moving towards the electric vehicles, or why we are thinking about the other type of sources, this is the first question. So you already know that the by this diagram that greenhouse gas emissions by different sectors. I can increase the size of this PPT. By this you can see, think about that this transportation. So that 23% is increased now in 1990 to 2010 due to this transportation sector where we are using the diesel and the other fuel. It is around 36%. So earlier it is less, but now it is increased. And similarly you can see the other sectors. So if we consider only about our transportation, because different research may be possible for this energy industries or for manufacturing industries. So if we think only about the current topic, that is the electrical vehicle and DC to DC converter, we can easily see that the motivation of us towards this particular work or research work is that this greenhouse gas emission. So the in Kyoto protocol, the 3Z concept comes, that is zero poverty, zero unemployment, and you can see the third is zero net carbon emissions. So the work is going on and on. Yes, I will provide the sliding mode or on this, sorry, in slide mode, uh, because sometimes if internet is not connected, and I presented this particular presentation, and if I am not there, so I'm not able to see you whether I'm connected there or not, because the same problem comes in the lecture classes also, that we present something and at the end we understood that we are disconnected. So kindly inform me, Dr. Amrish, whenever disconnected, because there is a
Oh,
internet
okay,
problem.
okay,
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 so I
okay,
am afraid of that. I present something and after some time you will say that you are not there. So that's why I am very afraid of that.
okay, okay,
Okay.
sir. I'll let you
So
know.
now the this topic is related with multi-port converter for electric vehicle application. But what is the motivation behind it? We have to see. So I told you that the main motivation in this electric vehicle side or research towards electrical vehicle is based on 3Z concept: zero unemployment, zero net carbon emission, and you can see zero poverty. Now after this, after thinking that we are moving towards this electric vehicle, next part is that we are having different type of electric vehicle, like battery electric vehicle or plug-in hybrid electric vehicle or fuel cell type electric vehicle. So we have to see that which is more commercially viable nowadays. So fuel cell, because you know that it is developed underdeveloped area till now. So the main concentration is on battery electric vehicles and plug-in hybrid electrical vehicles. And if we compare the both two battery electric vehicles and plug-in hybrid electric vehicles, then we have see the two things which is common is battery and supercapacitor. And in case of plug-in, we use fuel also. And if we think about the challenges of it, obviously if we think about the battery electric vehicles, the battery management and lifetime is important aspect. And in case of plug-in hybrid vehicles, then because we are using multiple sources, so multiple sources control strategies, energy management and optimization are the very important points for the challenge if you think about the major challenges. So based on such thinking, uh, our group in DTU start work on that direction, the DC to DC converter utilized for this electric vehicle, because there are so many aspects. When I show you the diagram, you can see various aspects may be there for electric vehicle. So first thing is the motivation, why we are moving towards that. So the motivation is the energy crisis, then the population, the environmental issues. When I discuss about the greenhouses gas emissions, I can say then shifting dependence to renewable sources, So we can think that this is the motivation. Then if we think about the basic block diagram of electric vehicle, I copied it from a source from a paper written by Sajib Chakravarti. And you can see that here various aspects are there. At the end we say electric motor is there, but before that we can say we have the sources also like supercapacitor or this simple battery, or in the left hand side you can say the other issues like onboard charger issues, fast charging converters. In DC to DC converter again, there is various type of research can be possible for various topologies. Then we have in the right hand side you can see the three phase inverter, or maybe again for multi-level converter may be there. So again for electric machine, which type of electrical machine can be used. So in that manner, if we start the work, we can start our work in that various aspects, right? So this is the motivation to work on that side, the multi-port converter applicable to the electric vehicle, right? And if we draw a simple diagram by ourselves, when we say multi-port converter, it means multiple input output converter. We can say also these are called MIMO converter, multiple input, multiple output. So we have PV panel, fuel cell, we have PV panel, wind energy, we have the battery is one main component, but we can make it like this. So based on this strategy, if we start our this presentation, we can say various aspects are there, but I cover only very small aspect, that is different type of DC to DC converter, and then move towards the one simulation of or an experimental work on one type of converter. So you will be motivated towards that work if some persons are working in the direction. So you can say now that next point is these are the another aspects of this electric vehicle, so you can work on that side also. So out of so many we can start from one point. So now for the particular presentation, if we divide our DC to DC converter, these are generally classified as non-isolated and isolated type. So in our conventional theory, we studied about the conventional buck converter, boost converter, cuck converter, or buck boost converter. Okay, we already studied that one. So there are other type of converters, non-isolated type like interleaved DC to DC. By that we will get the gain more than one. Because why we are discussing boost converter? Why not buck converter? Because if we have a particular voltage from the input side and the requirement of the load will be high, so in between we have to convert this low voltage to the high voltage to provide to the system, that means the electric motor. So for creating high voltage DC bus we need the boost converter. So that's why my this particular all the topologies are related with the DC to DC boost converter later on. So but if we classify the DC to DC converter, we can say the non-isolated type or isolated type. What is the difference? In isolated boost DC to DC converter, we need a high frequency transformer and which isolates input to the output, and the configuration are the bridge type, the jet source, or this sinusoidal high voltage type converter, push pull forward flyback, like that. And important is multi-port converter. So my presentation is basically related with that multi-port converter at the end. Now if we say the first converter, you can see that I think this PPT is visible to all, that if we classify it, then we have to see the advantage and disadvantages of each converters and how many switches are there in that particular converter. Because whenever we at the end we determine the particular losses, conduction losses, or the other type of losses, or if we determine the reliability of the particular converter, we require the configuration of that converter. And other important point is the voltage stresses, okay, the efficiency. So these are the very important points to keep in mind apart from the gain and the stability of the converter. So let we see DC to DC converter one by one as given in this slide. You can see that the simple boost DC to DC converter, we have a filter in the input side and inductor, and in the output side for the low voltage ripples we connect the capacitor, and then this inverter will be connected so that the DC will be converted into AC. So the part which we want to discuss is this one, the DC to DC conversion. So it is a very simple circuitry, it's a very low cost circuitry, okay, and control circuitry is also very simple, only one switch is there. What is the drawback of it? The capacitance is very high ripple rate, and voltage gain is less than 4. For stability aspect you can also see, and it consists of one inductor, one diode, and one IGBT and one capacitor. Now second type of converter which is generally used is interleaved boost DC to DC converter. It is again uh, non-isolated type converter. You can see four inductors are used here. You can, so it's a four-phase DC to DC boost interleaved boost converter. If we connect the inductance in that manner, you can easily see, and you can see four switches are out there. So the working is very simple, one switch at a time. So we can reduce the input current ripple. The voltage gain is also very high, uh, and it's a very simple control. What is the problem with it? Disadvantage: switching losses are high, and by the working it is very sensitive to the duty cycle changes. Now you can easily see the number of components are more as compared to the previous configuration. Voltage gain is very high as compared to the previous one. That is the advantage of this converter. And in terms of the efficiency, you can easily see that the efficiency of this particular converter in the previous case, it is around 83 to 85%. In this case, the converter efficiency is high and it is near to the 90%. So it may be used for our electric vehicle. Then the next converter is this boost DC to DC converter with resonant circuit. So you can see there are two switches, Q1 and Q2, and the Q1 and Q2 duty ratios are different. Q2 will create a resonant circuit, and important part here is by this we can provide soft switching. So the switching losses will be, you can say, switching losses we can reduce by that, by providing the zero current switching or applying the zero voltage switching, by making this IDS or VDS is zero during the switching time. Now it is the main advantage of this converter is this soft switching, but the disadvantage is low voltage gain and not suitable for high power conversion. And in the right hand side, the component use are shown. I want to tell you why in this PPT in each configuration different component are shown. Why I am showing it? Because uh, in this presentation it is not there, but we can work on the reliability side also. So by this particular component we can make a reliability model also based on Marco or based on fault tree, and then we can find the reliability of each converter, which is not covered in this lecture. So we are working on that also. So whether it is more reliable or not, apart from the efficiency, apart from the stability, apart from the voltage gain, apart from the efficiency, apart from the voltage stresses, like that, the another aspect which is very important is reliability. That's why it was written in the right hand side. Now after this non-isolated converters, the next was the full bridge boost DC to DC converters. So you can see in the left hand side of this high frequency transformer in the primary winding, we have four switches. It's a full bridge is there, and it convert this particular DC to DC and then converted to means with high frequency it is converted, and then by diode rectifier we can we convert this DC into AC, and then this AC is converted again into DC and given to the inverter. So this high current stresses circuit will be there due to this high frequency transformer. So this is the additional component here, but what is the benefit of it? Benefit is the isolation. So isolation is there. So this is a very important part here. And the drawback, you can see the large capacitor is required because diode bridge rectifier is connected at the output. So these are the drawbacks of the particular topology. Then we have the another type of converter, that is the isolated zero voltage switching DC to DC converter. It is written as ZVS-SC. So in the input side, half bridge converter is there, and in the output side again half bridge converter is there. So the number of switches are reduced here. You can easily say the number of switches are reduced. So that is the benefit of it, and switching losses are reduced. You can see. Now the drawback of it is the large capacitor, again the high current rating of the gates is required. You can easily see by this particular configuration, and the number of component used in this isolated zero voltage switching DC to DC converter is shown here. I think I am audible. I am trying to explain you only the different type of converters only. Then it has certain analysis also. We will see that also for one converter. So I want to tell you that in which manner we are moving towards the multi-port converter, or the converter for the DC to DC converter for the electric vehicle. Now there is another type of very important sinusoidal amplitude high voltage gain bus converter. So in this case you can see it's a noise free operation is very important aspect of it, and the control technique in this case is the disadvantage, because you can see the number of switches and the configuration of this converter you can see, and the complex gate switching pattern again is a disadvantage of it. In this case you can see that the flat output impedance is up to 1 megahertz. That is the advantage of it, the less noise and high flat output impedance up to 1 megahertz. So this is very important to ensure linear voltage or current conversion, right? So that is also a very important converter we can use for the electric vehicle. Now for isolated part, if I say multi-port converter, it is easily seen that we have two sources here, and by using a transformer we can use high frequency transformer. We can see if in the input side we can use two sources, and in the output side only one output is there. So this is called multi-input single output converter. Okay, so there is another type, single input single output, which we already studied, single input and single output. Till now we studied single input single output. Now it is called multi-input single output. This is called multi-port converter. Here it is isolated because we are using high frequency transformer. It provide high voltage gain obviously, and isolation is definitely there. And the disadvantage is again complicated analysis during transient and steady state. It is not complicated, but if you working only on one converter, then it will become easy. But if you compare from the other converter, it is little bit complicated, because you have to provide the different stages for the analysis purpose in when you do it on time domain. Just like now Pramod Agrawal sir told us that in time domain we are doing all those things for the computation purpose, and you all know about that. We have to make a state space model, and then a small signal analysis has been done. Then after that we did some work. So now in this case you can see this is the disadvantage. Now if we think about the multi-device interleaved DC to DC bidirectional converter, so this is, you can see that it is multi-device, or in the input side more than one source is used. So apart from super capacitor, you can use here PV, you can use here wind energy system, but to synchronize it with the other battery and the other energy source, you have to think. Okay, so again another power electronics converter is required for that purpose. But for battery and super capacitor, for our general conventional converter, DC to DC converter for battery electric vehicle or plug-in hybrid electric vehicle, we are discussing for that one. So we can say that the efficiency is very high, and the current stresses are very low. So control technique is simple in this case, depending on in which manner we are applying. One more point I want to tell you, that we did this work in our lab. First started from simple 8 mega microcontroller for a small rating system. Then by using DSpace, or by using DSP, or by using any other system which provide control signal, you can simulate it and then create a hardware for it. So it is again a challenge for us to work on those converter practically and provide the comparison for it. Okay, so by the simulation we checked, and then we did work on one converter which is used. So my presentation will also will create certain interest in you, that various configurations are there, and in various configuration we can do comparison, and when we can work on converter also, and and check whether in which converter the efficiency is very high. So we can say for multi-port converter the efficiency is high, and if we compare the features of different DC to DC converter topology in terms of single polarity output voltage, complexity of control circuit, or high power conversion, or current or voltage ripple, or switching frequency. So up to we work up to 20 kilohertz. So you can say for sinusoidal amplitude high voltage bus converter, you can work for very high, up to very high frequencies. So depending on the facilities available in your lab, or as per the project DST project or any project available to you, you can work on different converters applicable to the electric vehicle. So that was my main aim, that we must know the different type of converters in our this one. And you can see that for multiple input port, if we say obviously for multiple input port will present only in the multi-port converter. So in the and you can see the only MPC or MDIBC, the multiple input ports are present. Now we discussed multiple input and single output till now. Multiple input, single output. So there may be multiple input, multiple output also. Why multiple input, multiple output? Because it may one for lighting purpose, okay, and the other is for the controlling the electric machine. So we can use the multi-port converter also for that purpose. So these are called MIMO, multi-input, multiple output. So again, as per the basic review of those multi-port, means multiple input, multiple output, we can again say that we have the different options, right? So it was written in PPT that one output power cabin lighting, the other is used for electric motor, right? So this is the best option. This MIMO is the best option. Instead of simple CISO or MISO, the MIMO is the best option. We can utilize it. So again, we can divide it as isolated or non-isolated. So I want to tell you that whenever we studied or start research on those DC to DC converter, so it's like a sea, like an ocean. So various converter topologies are there, but we broadly divide it as isolated or non-isolated. Then again, so many topologies are there for this MIMO type converters, then MISOs are there, then MIMOs are there. So we can work on in a different manner, different research group are working. So my aim is to just create awareness about the different topologies of this one, and saying that MIMO will give the uh, obviously MIMO where multiple input multiple output means more than one energy sources can be accommodated and more than one output is there, like in a flyback converter. If we modify it and we say output side, okay, two outputs are there, so by the using the high frequency transformer. So input side, if we do some modification, we can say okay, this is the combination of the two converters. So in that manner we can work on different type of converters, and what was the desirable characteristics to use in our electric vehicles, that it must have high gain, high power density, okay, reduce stress across switches, okay, and cost will be less. So that's why I'm telling you the count of the switches also is important, okay, and this will also important in terms of reliability. So that's why this part is not covered here, and it is also important. Now after discussing the various types of converters available in literature for electric vehicle, for battery electric vehicle, or your plug-in hybrid electric vehicle, we can use for fuel cell also, we can utilize it for fuel cell, but for we can say if we use MIMO, we have more option, we have more options. And you also know that if we use MIMO converter, then in the output side we can use if a multi-level converter, so it's good for us. So why not to make a DC to DC converter which will provide more voltage levels at the output. So that is again another area of research that you can use for MIMO converter. Then this is one very simple non-isolated MIMO converter which I want to discuss, because all type of converter can be discussed in that manner one by one. You can study all those converters, because maybe some are already doing very good research on that side. So point is that how to do that particular analysis. So it's a very simple. First you have a configuration as we discussed in our that particular topology. In this case you can say two input sources are there and two outputs are there, okay, and obviously it is non-isolated, no transformer is associated in it, and there is no isolation between input and output. And again it has two mode, one mode is for charging, the other mode is for discharging. Charging mode for this battery charging, uh, I will not discuss the battery charging mode, I will discuss only discharging mode for this particular PPT. So you can easily see that we have four switches, S1, S2, S3 and S4. S2 is specifically used for this charging purpose and it is always off. So we use the S1, S2 and S3 switches. Okay, S1, S3 and S4, not S2 switch. So you can easily see that in the first by this particular diagram we can easily say if S2 is not used, only S3, S1 and S4 are used. You can easily say if I turn on this S3, this inductor S3 and S1, you can easily see that the battery will provide energy to this inductor, and this loop is there. So we can say it's a stage 1. Okay, you think like that. If we turn off the switch S3 and turn on and S1 is already on, we can say this second source will provide you the this inductor means the this second source will provide energy to this inductor. So you can see this is the first mode where the battery will provide the energy to the inductor when switch 1 is on and switch S3 is on. And one very important part in the load side, because no connection is there from source to the load, the capacitor, if we initially assume are charged, become maybe discharged in this particular time. So these capacitors are discharged. So now you can see in the second mode when this S3 is off, So battery will disconnect it from the circuit, and this second source will come into picture and will give energy to the inductor. By this right hand side, the diagram of the inductor current, you can see the inductor current is increasing from 0 to D3T. T is the total time. If we say for if we calculate this time, we can say it's a one cycle. So in this one cycle, you can say the in first stage we are moving from 0 to D3T time, the energy stored in the inductor. Then in the second stage, by the second source, energy is given to again to the inductor. So if we improve this circuitry, you can see this circuitry, we can connect more than one sources. So here point is only I want to tell you that I use two sources. You can use more than one source. So if you use more than two source, you can use third source also, connect a battery, make a one more switch and a diode at the outer part, the outermost energy source connected to the system. You can see diode is connected to that, and in the innermost switch is there. So one more switch is increased. If we connect one more energy source, one more switch is connected and it to be controlled. And what is the effect on it? Effect is that we can store more energy in this inductor. So that this inductor design is very important, and it will depends on those things, like how much current flowing through this particular system and how much current we want for this minimum current ripple. So you can see current ripple can easily be calculated from this waveform, and from this waveform we can easily find that from 0 time to this d1t time current is increasing. Now in the next stage, when the switch S1 is off, after stage 2, if switch S1 is off and S4 is on, then you can see the input is connected to the output. So if input is connected to the output, you can say the capacitor C1 is charged, but C2 is still discharged in this case. And then in the last stage, we can say from this D4 to capital T, you can say this S4 is also off. So the inductor will give energy to this C1 and C2, and both are charged. So in that manner, you can see for a complete duration, we will get the current ripple like this. So that current ripple can be reduced by optimal switching. Means if we design our system in such a manner or provide this switching signal D1, D3 and D4 in such a manner that the current ripple will be minimum, those values will be changed. So we can say optimized switching can be possible for this particular converter. And how we do it? It's very simple. If we do the dynamic modeling for these stages, different stages, and then we apply small signal modeling, and then we can find the transfer functions. And after doing the transfer, after finding the transfer function, we can comment about the stability, or we can design the controllers also. So in that manner, each type of DC to DC converter can be designed or can be discussed. Okay. So these parameters are very means because we design it for very small rating. So these are the parameters. So you can see in the input side 18 volt, 24, and the current rating is around 3 ampere in the input side. So we can see the rating. Now small signal modeling has been done, and how it is done? It is very simple. In each stage, we write the Kirchhoff current law and Kirchhoff voltage law, and we write the expression as x dot is equal to ax plus bu. So depending on the control variable, that is the inductor current and the two capacitor voltage VC1 and VC2, we have to write the equations by applying KCL and KVL. So if we write the state space model, we can easily create the model in terms of ABCD parameter, and it is written like this ABCD. Now after small signal analysis, we can also find these values, this IL, VO1, VO2 and this one. So you can see this, what is VO1, VO2? if I assume that output VO1 and VO2 as the output, so we can, and IL is the input current. So obviously when I say when I say VC1 and VC2, so this VC1 and VC2 are obviously VO1 and VO2. So when we write a model for it, state space model, we have first to find the control variables. So for that one, because you all are expert in that area, so you know that after writing the state space model, we can create the we can apply the small signal modeling, and then we can find those parameter, the transfer functions, and you can see we can decouple the control also. So obviously you can find VO1 by D4, VT by D3, IB by D1. So we can control the battery current, we can control the output voltage, we can control one voltage also, depending on what we want to control. So now at least out of 4 switches in discharging mode, 3 switches are working, one switch is not working. Deliberately I'm not discussing it. Again, it's a same discussion. For battery charging, we have to utilize this S2 switch also. So now this will be implemented easily in the lab also, depending on the devices available to your lab or the facilities available to you, you can do the hardware work also. So after mathematical modeling, next part, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are
Yes, sir, you
audible.
are. Okay, so different controllers can be possible for this. Practically, we can apply also, even by using microcontroller, simple Arduino at Mega 328P. We can use some simple work, because once we know how to do the work, we can do it for the for higher ratings also. By using DSpace, we can do provide the complex strategies, apply the complex strategies. We can apply the uh, artificial intelligence technique also to find the parameters like that. But point is, hey, the main point is, first we discuss about various topologies of DC to DC converter. Second thing is, it's one DC to DC converter modeling, and then after that applying the control technique. So simple closed loop analysis is possible, and the 3 switches are controlled, this D1, D3 and D4. You already saw it in state space form, and then you can see the various results. These are only simulated results. So if you simulate the particular converter and you check it for different parameters, you can see the different results are coming. Okay. I am not saying which results is good or which result is bad. The point is for of the discussion is we can do work in that manner. That was my point of discussion in this particular presentation. So after getting the particular different converter topologies, we can simulate it, and if we apply it and for different type of controller or different type of controller parameter, if we apply the hardware, it's very simple in the lab. If we have the power supplies available, if we can design a simple inductor, okay, and we have a simple microcontroller, or we have a DSpace or anything, so we can implement it on hardware also. So you already know that by using MATLAB you can do anything. So now we compare it, and we saw that okay, if the efficiency in case of actual it is very high, practically we are doing certain mistakes, we are not designing the inductor properly. Okay, so in that case we can say we will not get exact same result as the practical one, but near to that we will get at various values. If we vary the input voltage, what is the output voltage we can see at the output, that may be compared. Then if we compare if we change those load resistances R1 and R2, if we utilize this multi-port converter for providing input to the multi-level inverter, so that part may be also covered in the lecture, or you can do in that in your work also, because after DC to DC converter with high DC bus, the next point is you have a converter, means a DC to AC converter, and then given to an electrical machine. So in that way you can do your work. So you can see experimental results are very near to the simulated results. Okay, so the almost shape is like this. Now this is the efficiency. You can see OL means in open loop we can say efficiency is coming very less, but when we apply closed loop operation we can say the efficiency is high, and at different input voltages when we find the efficiency, you can see the efficiency is around 90%. You can see for some cases it is coming as 90%. So in that manner we it was written here efficiency for PI and FOPID is calculated to be best, that is 79.2. You can see during the open loop operation. Yes. Audible? Am I audible?
Yes, sir. You continue, sir.
Okay, because some in between somebody's talking, so that's why if somebody, so you can see for open loop you can see some efficiencies like this, but if we in closed loop operation the high efficiency is coming for and by providing the uh, different controllers we will see the efficiency is coming a little bit different, but it is coming from this 70% to 90% at different condition. If you are asking, if you will ask me V in equal to 0 is possible, it is not possible. Okay, so it is by mistake for plotting the results, it is coming at this location, but at V in 1 is not equal to 0 and it has certain value. So if I want to conclude my presentation, my presentation is basically related with the multi-port converter, but before multi-port converter the it is related with DC to DC converter for electric vehicle. So we discussed about the various topologies of the DC to DC converter. Actually the presentation is like that, various topologies of DC to DC converters, and after studying the different type of seeing the different type of DC to DC converter, next part we discuss that the multi-port converter, and then in multi-port converter we discussed the one simple two input two output converter, its analysis and some simulated and practical results. So because we did it for a very small level prototype in our lab, so now we are working on, because on discharging mode we did not work, so we have to work on discharging mode, and then we have to work on the optimal control strategy also and the stability also. So in that manner we can work on that particular site, that DC to DC converter analysis and control also. One more point I want to tell you that because deliberately I place the count how many switches are also there, and I also discuss about the particular voltage stresses or the efficiency and the power losses. Earlier I told you that in that manner if you studied your converter you can work on the reliability side also, because that aspect is also utilized generally not by our researchers. So we have to see in that direction also, that reliability part is also very important. So apart from designing your converter, the its efficiency, its other parts, this stability, the other part is also reliability. So my point is we can discuss our research in that direction also. So in that manner I think I have to conclude my presentation, because it is very less to discuss. Only DC to DC converters, different type of DC to DC converter, and then the next is we discuss that one multi-port converter. That's all. So on that, I
Hello? Hello? I think sir voice is not coming. Hello? Just a minute. हाँ सर. So all the participants, Professor Joshi is now disconnected due to some issue. So this was all about his lecture. Now, if you are having any query regarding this, then you can mail to me. I will forward to him. So thank you all for being here in this session. Now the next session that we will start at schedule time 2:30, and session will be ending at 4 o'clock.